Welcome back to So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. And on this episode, we finally cover the one and only Mac Miller. Pop your champagne and kiss your loved ones, the day hath come. For the uninitiated, Mac Miller was a Pittsburgh-born rapper and producer. He released some highly celebrated material since his beginnings in his early teens. His music had come a long way from rapping about Kool-Aid and pizza, which is why this was a very difficult video to make. He evolved and changed in so many different ways before being taken from us at the young age of 26. So pointing you in the right direction to get into Mac's music is no easy task, especially given this show's particular structure. I've decided that the best way to do this is to focus on some of the most accessible material throughout each Mac era. This could very well be my most controversial video yet, so let's have some fun. As always, I'll be suggesting 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that I think you need to be listening to if you wanted to do a deeper dive into the wonderful world of Mac Miller. As always, the albums are up first. The first Mac Miller record that you need to check out is his 2015 album, Good AM. In many ways, this album acts as a victory lap for Mac, which is apparent in the bright instrumentals. Despite the glamour and glitz, it's also used as a vessel to talk about his vices. For instance, the song 2 Matches featuring Ab-Soul is all about Mac achieving his dream of making money while being a rapper. The bouncy and horn-filled beat is obviously uplifting, however, there are moments in the lyrics that lead you to understand that Mac is not truly fulfilled. On Weekend featuring Miguel, Mac lets it all out, releasing his pent-up anger from the prior week. This song is so clearly a hit with the headbanging instrumentals, with Miguel and Mac's oh so catchy I'll Be Good by the Weekend. Just a great song to get up and dance to. Finally, Perfect Circle Godspeed is all about the darker side of Mac's newfound success. He speaks frankly about his drug use and the darker side of his bright persona in this nearly 8-minute long track. The first section's use of this old-timey piano loop leads you to feel like you're walking through a dimly lit city as the rain pours down on top of you. The second section, which features this gorgeous cascading beat, is all about what Mac expects to happen when he dies from this drug problem that he's now finally admitting he has. It is one of the heaviest songs on the album, especially when you know how his story ends. I won't lie to you, Good AM is not my favorite Mac Miller album, although I do think that it shines an accurate light on who Mac was during some of his peaks of fame. Regardless, it is a necessary listen for any new Mac Miller fan. The next record to hear from Mac is Swimming, his 2018 release. This was Mac's final album before his passing, and it serves as his most introspective and emotional LP. It is incredibly personal, but has been used by many to look inwards and practice their own forms of self-love and care. The first track that I want to touch on is What's the Use. A funky instrumental cloaks the darker lyrics that discuss Mac's addiction as he begs the question, what's the use? On the song Self-Care, Mac preaches about, well, self-care. He admits that he struggled with personal accountability for his drug addiction, but also explains how he needed to stop allowing the media and other outside sources from bringing him down. Instead, he knows that he needs to take care of himself above all else. The song is fully realized through 2 distinct sections, both of which feature these keyboard taps and otherworldly synth swirls. Last but not least, be sure to hear 2009. A ballad in all senses of the word, it is calming and warm, wrapping you up like a blanket with the snapping fingers and a comforting piano loop. The beat is like an old home movie that you have to watch on a VHS tape. Mac reflects on the portion of his life that came after he released his hit mixtape Kids and all of the lessons that he's learned along the way. Swimming is one of the best looks that we will ever get into the brilliant yet struggling mind of Mac Miller, making this an absolute must listen. And now, let's hit up the tracks. The first Mac Miller track to check out is The Spins, which comes off his 2010 mixtape Kids. While there are plenty of hits on this project, I feel The Spins best represents the mindset of a younger Mac Miller. He's dreaming of a successful future full of huge mansions and beautiful women. It's a song of celebration now that he finally finished high school, and this carefree, bright-eyed attitude is all over this track. Also, the use of Half-Mast by Empire of the Sun is used superbly on the hook. Overall, this is a perfect example of the younger era of Mac Miller, making this a required listen. Next up is the mega hit Dang featuring Anderson .Paak from the 2016 LP The Divine Feminine. Moving into the later years of Mac's music, Dang is a great representation of how his sound has changed from album to album. This track is oozing with swagger in each and every aspect there is. Between Paak's playful hook and Mac's longing verses, Dang will keep you engaged the entire time down to the very last snap. Some may argue that there are better songs from this era, and to you I say you very well could be right. But to me, Dang is incredibly accessible to anybody trying to listen to Mac's music thus making it a song that you must hear. Finally, we have good news from his posthumous release, Circles. To bring this list of tracks to an end, it's only appropriate that we talk about the final sounds from Mac Miller. Recorded before his tragic death, this song was later resurrected and produced by John Bryan for this album. Dealing with the stress caused by his fame and his need to help others, Mac is candid in talking about his mental health struggles. This song hurts even more when you know that he would die from an overdose not long after penning this track. It's calming with the plucking guitar notes and subtle bass, but it's also incredibly sad. It feels like the ultimate culmination between his illustrious career and difficult personal battles. Good News is an utterly beautiful song that needs to be heard by anybody who's trying to get into Mac Miller's discography. And that will wrap up this episode of So You're Interested In. Like I stated at the top of the episode, this is definitely one of the hardest ones that I've ever had to write, mostly because he was so popular, so many people asked me to do this video, and there are just so many Mac Miller albums and songs to comb through. I've sat on the script for every bit of 6 to 7 months and never felt comfortable actually making it, but I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm putting it out there, let's see how it does, let's see how people react, and you know what, that's exactly what you can do right now. Go to the comment section below and let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you think that I made some good picks, if I screwed up, if I missed your favorites, whatever it is, I don't care. I like seeing any interaction that you have with me, it's great, and I can always learn more from listening to you, the viewer. It just makes this whole experience better. While you're down there, you can also suggest any other artists that you would like to see on this show. I try not to pick artists that are as big as somebody like Mac Miller, but once in a while, I do cave and make the videos, so who knows, give a suggestion, let's see what happens. Be sure to subscribe as well for videos just like this every single week. I do plan on making new videos every week. I know it's been a long time, but at some point, you knew I'd be back. I do have a lot of videos lined up right now, so if you don't see your suggestion immediately, don't take it personally. I just have a method of my madness right now. But yeah, that's about it. Go back and listen to some Mac Miller if you haven't listened to him in a long time, or if you've never listened to him before, and be sure to support your local artists and local record stores and really anything to keep the music community alive during these tough times. And until next time, happy listening.